Most of us want to swim with dolphins, but the question is, do dolphins want to swim with us? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and we need to respect that in order to avoid harassing them. Education before encounters with a wild animal is most important. We need to remember that we are like guests in their environment. There is a set of laws, rules, guidelines, and etiquette governing the interaction with wild dolphins, and we will give you the information you need to have a safe, respectful, and enjoyable experience. Water Planet offers 1-day, 3-day, and 1-week educational wild dolphin encounter programs. We will put you in the water with these magnificent animals after we make sure that we are not interrupting any of their natural behavior, like traveling, resting, courtship, or foraging. Dolphins have their daily agenda, and they may have some important activities to take care of before they are interested in us. Contrary to what you may have seen in TV programs or movies that distort dolphins' reality to sell you a good thrill, wild dolphins are not necessarily attracted by humans. It is a big responsibility to initiate a relationship with a wild animal and to gain his trust. Before you attempt that yourself, you should always remember the deeply moving story of John Dunbar in the movie Dances with Wolves, where that officer of the U.S. Cavalry makes friends with a wild wolf. Dunbar is an intelligent, sensitive, and educated human being who understands wilderness and wild animals. But the wolf will not know how to make the difference between Dunbar and the drunken soldiers who shoot him to death. The beauty about being in the water with wild dolphins is that most of the time you can observe the way they live. There are no barriers but the distance they choose to put between you and them with the powerful strokes of their tail. Did you know that dolphins never sleep? They cannot afford to be unconscious and oblivious to their environment. They are constantly exposed to the hazards of their environment. Also, they are conscious breathers, meaning that with them, breathing is a voluntary act. Should they be knocked out by impact with a boat, their respiration would stop and they would die of anoxia. Should they sleep with their right and left brain like we do, they would also stop breathing. Dolphins have always been opportunistic feeders, and you often see them behind fishing boats and shrimp boats, waiting for the bycatch to be thrown overboard. In our area, wild dolphins are no exceptions to this practice. And they even come up to the sports fishing boats and pleasure boats to beg for fish. People's first reaction will be to feed them. Try to make them jump by holding bait high up over the side of their boat, or to take fish in the water and entice them to swim closer. This is not a flipper show. This practice is dangerous both for the dolphins and for swimmers. At Water Planet, we are proud to never have fed dolphins. The practice of feeding wild dolphins is not only dangerous, but it is also illegal. It exposes the animals to propeller injuries, exhaust gases inhalation, digestive tract infections, injuries by contact with fishing gear, and attacks by predators. It also has the potential to alter their social structure due to the fact that habituated mothers will take their calves away from the safety of the group to spend a good part of the day following boats to get a handout. At Water Planet, we will take the time to teach you interesting facts about dolphins because we want you to feel that your experience makes sense. We will tell you about dolphins' anatomy. We will explain the dolphin sonar and echolocation. We will tell you about courtship, mating, dolphin birth, male-female calves relationships, cooperative fishing, fishing techniques, social structure, communication, whistles, and vocalization. During slack times, we will take you to Shell Island, where you will be able to experience the beauty of this pristine nature preserve. You will snorkel in the shallow seagrass beds where most marine life starts. About 70% of the species found in the Gulf of Mexico originate in these grass beds. Kids and adults alike will be amazed by the variety of marine creatures they can find in the shallows right by the beach. This is the Water Planet Wet Lab, our show and tell session. You will be able to gently handle marine specimens before we release them. It is a particularly fun learning experience. Most of you will lose your fear of what is under the surface by becoming aware of and by touching all the different marine species we bring back. Locals call their shoreline the world's most beautiful beaches. That part of the world is also called the Emerald Coast. The snow-white powdered sand dunes of Shell Island against the green jewel-like transparent background of the Gulf will certainly get you a few steps closer to paradise. There are so many interesting things to tell about dolphins that we could sit here during the entire 4 hours of this program and not be bored. But I have the feeling that you want to experience all this beauty firsthand. Let us end this briefing with some practical tips and guidelines to help you have a safe, respectful, and enjoyable experience. The boat ride to Shell Island is about 15 to 20 minutes. That is where the dolphins usually are. Once we find them, we will find out what they're doing based on their behavior. When they are interested, dolphins will approach the boat, and we will put you in the water. Even though some of the dolphins come within arm's reach, it is important not to reach and touch them. These animals are wild. They are not trained to interact with people, and they are not pets. By the way, touching a wild dolphin is considered as harassment by federal law. When the dolphins turn around and leave, let them go. You cannot outswim them anyway. We will get back on board and move the boat. There are no reports of wild dolphins hurting anyone in the Panama City area since we started our programs in 1995. And respecting our guidelines will certainly contribute in keeping it this way. Watch the dolphins' body language. They will let you know when they are upset. Some of the warning signs may be underwater jaw clapping, surface tail slapping, loud cackling and vocalization or huffing, which is a repeated loud and forceful exhalation. If you see these behaviors, it means the animals are uncomfortable with something. It may not necessarily be directed at you, but in any event, back off and give them their space. You do not need to be an Olympic swimmer to have this beautiful experience. Since we also offer programs for children with disabilities, we're used to helping with special needs. Our staff is here to help you. We provide flotation devices, and our boats are equipped with deep ladders to make getting back on board easier. Here is our advice to you. Watch, learn, respect, and enjoy the incredible privilege we still have, being able to swim in the same waters as these magnificent wild dolphins.